So I'm sitting here, resting in the Lord, needing to clean my house, like we all do. And so I just wanted to read my community post today because I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to read it, and I think I'm going to put the video on Leroy right there so you can look at him. So yesterday I was given 1 Samuel 25, 2 through 44. I'll quickly paraphrase the story from my understanding. It's the story about David in the wilderness. He instructs his men to do good to the shepherds of Nabal, who is a man of great wealth and possession. And David tells his men to then go to Nabal and say the good they've done for him in keeping them safe, that they come in peace and they are in need of provision. But Nabal rejects them. And so David gets upset and tells the men to draw their swords. But luckily, a guy who saw and experienced it all went to Nabal's wife, Abigail, and gave light to the situation. She quickly gathered all her goods, like food, provisions, and hurried to plead to David for mercy. She went on a donkey with her goods, and when she met David, she fell to her knees, face down in the dirt, and first took responsibility for her husband's sins and pleaded understanding from David because Nabal's name means fool. And so she pleaded with David, basically saying, "Hey, I take on this responsibility. Please forgive me for his sins. I offer you everything in return of your mercy." And then she also began to speak of how she knew of David and the plans God had for him. And she knew that this little tiff wasn't worth David committing sin for, basically murdering the whole family, etc. And she pleaded him to reconsider. And then David's heart was softened, and his anger was basically rebuked by the Lord through her common sense. And he greatly praised God for his giving of this message through Abigail. And then a while later, Nabal learns of how close he was to basically getting slaughtered for his selfish covetousness, and his heart is hardened and he drops dead 10 days later by God's judgment on him. Then David finds out about how Abigail is no longer under Nabal's house and asks her to join his and be his wife, and she humbly accepts, saying she's here to serve. So, wow, what a story we can all learn from. Do good, don't expect it. Return, just do good. Your efforts are not in vain. Don't let your anger murder. See the person. They may just be so steeped in their selfishness and the worldly ways, they just can't be that help that you need. They just can't see the right way of things. Don't let their dark ways condemn the whole. They may be in power, but there are still faithful servants mixed in among the mess, and God knows who they are and where they are. The wicked will come to their end. God is the ultimate judge. He's got this. Don't jump the gun and think you are the judge and are to execute his vengeance. You let him handle it. It's good to see the evil and to know so you can then wipe the dust off of your feet and leave it to the Lord. And on the other side, we can see the evil. We see the wrong actions of those in power over us, but we submit and offer our all to God as his servant, because he will maneuver us through the maze as we humbly submit to his will. He knows and sees it all. He's got it. Just serve, wait, continue to walk. So praise God for such a reminder. And so to confirm this, of course, this morning he led me to Proverbs 2. And so I just suggest reading that whole thing. And it's very reaffirming and how beautiful he is. And we're all just so lucky to have such a wonderful, just and holy and righteous God.